been at hand to advise them. We want to thank the IDEA team and look forward to their presentation today so that each one of us will be benefited and our church communities will be more equipped to deal with any eventuality. I thank all those who are going to share their experiences, how it was, how challenging it was in the context of disasters and conflicts. So over to you, Ruben, and we, along with everybody, I also look forward to a great and engaging webinar today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Aya. Conflicts, disaster, floods, landslides are being annual events where many of our dear ones are being washed away from the world. Many are being injured, many are being lost their everything. So in this scenario, in this webinar, we have two phases. At the first part, we'll listen from the persons with disabilities who have faced the life-threatening challenges at the time of disaster and conflict in 2025 and 2025. So let's begin with the stories from Vijayawada flood, which happened in August 2024. The city experienced a massive flood due to the heavy rainfall and a different weather. The flood caused significant damages and taken the lives of people, and many persons with disability was stuck inside their houses without knowing what to do. So let's begin with the experience of Naga Chadurya, a visually impaired a person who's a LLB graduate who got stuck at the time of flood. So let's begin with the story of Naga Chadurya. Over to you.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Good evening, all the dignitaries who are presenting here. My name is Naga Chaturya. Currently, I am completed my BA LLB final year. Now, I am waiting for my result as well as I am preparing for CLAT PG. Today, I want to share my journey with you. So, on September 2024, the flood struck in Vijayawada. So actually, I belongs to Vijayawada. So that time, I was in exams. So that time I was in Tirupati actually. So my house is in underlying area. So my mother also with me because of my blindness in Tirupati. So my father and my brother there in midnight flood came. That time actually we are living in underlying area for the power office. So power circulated in my home. So we felt my father and my brother is no more because so many people went away for, but my brother and father no chance to even came out of my home. So because of my police helps, so finally they escaped from it. So my house was totally drowned. Even my father can't able to save anything, so we lost everything to that floods. Later, they provided accommodation in Vijayawada Government School. So after completion of my exams, me and my mother came that government school. Even we don't have any facilities like I am as a girl, I don't have washing facility also. So I face lot of difficulty because of that. After 2 or 3 weeks, schools are open. So government school authority told we need to open schools. Please, you will go homes like so. All homes are okay. So water also went away, but my home is in lot of water and mud. So my home filled with water. So even we can't able to walk also after 2 3 weeks, 2 3 months also. Then we don't know what we want to do, where we want to stay. That time we are in hopeless situation actually. So that time, through one of my friend, I came to know about Abhinaya Care Foundation, Madhurya ma'am. So I called her. That time I didn't know her, she didn't know me. So only I called one time. I told my situation. So ma'am and Ashok sir immediately came to me and they saw my situation and they came to my home. Even if they came also, even they can't able to walk before my home also. Like that, my home filled with water. So, ma'am, first of all, ma'am and sir discussed to provide temporary solution, but they felt if we provide temporary solution, after 2 or 3 days, if they told me them to go where they want to go, like that they discussed both and they decided to take one home and they paid advance and they kept my family there. Really, I'm very thankful to Abhinaya Care Foundation. So later, ma'am gave me three promises. Uh, she told, now your goal, so you are in outside, so this is not safe place for you. So first of all, I will keep in a secure place. I will provide a home, like that she told. So she paid advance and she took one home for me. And later she told me to provide groceries. So she provided a lot of times groceries for my family. So finally, that time I'm preparing for civils. So my laptop also I lost because of floods. So I don't have source to study because of my blindness. I can't able to study through books. So if laptop is there only, I can study. So I decided to stop my education. But Madhurya ma'am, Abhinay Care Foundation encouraged me a lot. No, we will try to provide laptop for you. You should study, like that. They encouraged me and they provided me laptop also. So she fulfilled three promises for me. Really, I'm very grateful to Abhinay Care Foundation. And not only me, lot of people, the persons with disability are staying in with suffering with floods. So they are living in underlying area only. Really, the person who are sighted, they save themselves. But really, the person who are really need, who are really visually impaired, or who are really a person with disability, that time no one are there to take care of that persons. So, ma'am and Abhinay Care Foundation really did lot of hard work, day and night. They did hard work and they protected so many people by providing shelters and by providing necessaries, by providing groceries. So they did lot of hard work. They protected lot of lives actually. So that time later, till now, from that to till now, so many people are even still they can't able to adjust themselves because of floods and all. They lost everything. Till now, Binay Care Foundation is helping lot of people. So I'm very thankful to Abhinay. Not only this, in future also, if any floods or if any wars happen, so the person who are sighted, they are protecting themselves, but no one are caring about especially need children. So if we try to take any legislation regarding this, definitely we will develop ourselves. We will try to help the person who are really need, because no one are help for us. We only try to protect ourselves. So that time the government authorities also took care of the people who are really sighted and all, because they also didn't know we are suffering with floods problem. So that time, really now I am studying because of my Abhinay Care Foundation and Madhurya ma'am. Without them, really I can't able to study. That time I felt I want to stop my education, but they encouraged me, and even they gave my family to new life, because I don't know what we want to do, where we want to stay. That time Madhurya ma'am and Abhinay Care Foundation helped me a lot. Really, once again, I am very thankful to Madhurya ma'am and Abhinaya Care Foundation. Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much, Chadriya, for bringing out your experience. It realized how difficult it is for a person with disability, especially with visually impairment, to go through the difficult time of a disaster, especially a flood situation. And through the help of a prepared team in the disaster, Madhurya were able to come back to her life. At the same time, we have to understand the story from a different angle. At the time of the flood, when NCCA IDEA team was trying to communicate with the churches and church leaders, one church leader was ready to support the persons with disability who are stuck with the flood situation just with a call. Let me welcome Right Reverend Prem Kumar, Bishop North Andhra Telangana Diocese of Evangelical Churches of in India, to share his experience in the preparedness of disaster and how he and his church was able to help persons with disabilities. Over to you, Bishop Prem.
Good evening. Am I audible, brother?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. It's my privilege and joy to share how we as a church can be blessing to the people who are in need during the time of floods. All of you knew that in the month of September 2024, on the very first day of the September, we had heavy floods in the almost half of our city, and most of the people they were just washed away because of this floods. We were waiting as a church to take care of those who are in real need. And on 2nd September, I received a call from Sister Madhurya stating that there are 30 families, though there were people who were supplying food to different places who are the victims of this flood. But Sister Madhurya has called me and said there are 30 families where they are who are really suffering without having food from the morning. And people are distributing the food packets only on the peripheral, and they are unable to go inside. And in these 30 families, there were the children with disability, and they were unable to get the food. And soon after she has called, I immediately told the need to the church. Immediately they have responded. This took place at 4 o'clock in the evening. By 7 o'clock, everything was ready. And by 8 o'clock, we could go and hand over those food packets to those families who are literally living in utter darkness because there was no power, and at the same time there were water on the roads and also in the houses. So we were so happy to take part in helping those people who are in real need. And the second thing, we had we had phone call from Reverend Joy. He just called me asking about this sister. Her name is Nagasaki. Whether the church can do something. So, and Sister Madhurya has contacted me, and we could go and see how that house was filled with the mud, and everything was drowned, everything was washed away. Nothing was there. They cannot use even a single pin or single pen because of the flood. Everything was filled with the mud. And the need that they expressed was, we need a house where we can stay just at least for a month, if someone can pay the rent so that we can go and stay in that house, and later on we will survive on our own. Immediately I informed to the church, and church has responded, and church has given this advance, the rent. Immediately we have transferred the rent to the house owner directly, and by the grace of God, they got the house, and they could go to that house, they could stay there. And I received a video call from Sister Nagacharya thanking the church for the help that she has done. When I have seen these people really, even at the time of the floods, where there were a lot of organizations came in to distribute the food, to distribute the to distribute the necessary things. But those things have not gone to the interior places where there were disabled people who could not come out and receive the help that someone was providing them. But I'm so happy with Brother Reverend Ribbing John and also Sister Madhurya, who have gone inside, who could understand the real need. And as we have been waiting for the places where there is a specific need, we want to go in and to help. And I really thank both of them for finding out the need, the real need, where we can go and help. And that is the way we could really help those people who are in the water and those 30 families, and also Sister Nagacharya. We really thank Reverend Rebbing John and also the entire team who could help allow us to take part in this great work to help those who are in need. Thank you. Thank you very much, dear brother.
Thank you so much, Bishop Prem, for joining us and also being a great help and showing the compassion of our Lord through your action. Thank you so much. Madhurya, are you here? So we were listening from Chadurya and Bishop Prem about Madhurya. So this is the testimony how Abhinaya Foundation and as well as the team with Madhurya was able to be prepared for the persons with disabilities who were left alone, even though there was disaster team working on that. So Madhurya, will you be able to please unmute yourself and introduce? I know you are traveling. If your network is good.
Good evening, everyone.
I guess your voice is breaking. Madhu, your voice is breaking. Shall I read out it what you sent? Hello. Sorry for that. As Madhuri is traveling, she have shared the testimony as a message. So I will read it out. Good evening, everyone. My name is Madhurya. I'm from Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. I work as a special educator and sign language interpreter. I'm also the founder of Abhinaya Care Foundation, principal of Abhinaya Autism School, and core committee member of NCCA IDEA, and the Indian Sign Language trainer for Indian Disability Ecumenical Accompaniment. A year ago, I had the opportunity to attend Conflict Disaster Disability Management Program conducted by NCCI IDEA at Nagpur NCCI office. At that time, I participated as a sign language interpreter for the entire session. I translated the topic live for the hearing impaired community. During this program, I gained valuable knowledge and deep insight into the disaster management for persons with disabilities. After attending the program, I gained a clear understanding of how professionally working with persons with disabilities should respond during disaster and conflict situation, and how best we can support them in such scenarios. A few months later, severe flood hit Vijayawada with water leaves reaching the first floor of houses in many areas. I realized the persons with disabilities in these flood affected areas would be facing extreme challenges. Then, when the idea came to mind to support the individuals during the crisis, with the intention, I and my team at Abhinaya Care Foundation began our relief work. We reached out to National Council of Churches in India, its General Secretary, Reverend Dr. Asin Ebenezer, and Team IDEA. They responded immediately and connected with the churches in Vijayawada. And they came forward to help the persons with disabilities with accommodation, groceries, and reaching out them. We formed a volunteer team, including 3 members, who bravely went into the affected areas and provided support. I felt truly happy and emotional when the beneficiaries gave heartfelt testimonies. They said, no government, no disaster team, no one came for helping us. We were inside the water, without electricity, without food, without knowing we will survive this situation. And you, your group, and the churches come as a rescue. This response deeply touched me. It made me realize how impactful was NCCI ideas, guidelines on disaster, conflict, and management. I can boldly say the disaster management guideline designed by NCCI IDEA in collaboration with EDAN and IPC had a great impact on my work to be a hope for the persons with disabilities who were stuck in the Vijayawada flood. Thank you so much, Abhinaya Care Foundation and Madhurya, who were ready to go into the flood situation and rescue them. For that, they had an important factor with them. They had the data of persons with disabilities living in Vijayawada. That helped them to reach out the people who were left alone. Posting a challenge here, dear church, dear institutions, do we know how many persons with disabilities are part of our church, institution, and our neighborhood? Let's move forward towards another very painful uh, disaster which India have faced last year. July 30, 2024, midnight, 3 villages in Wayanad was washed away. Mundakai, Churalmala, Vellarmala, 420 deaths were reported. 397 people were injured. 118 people are still missing. The entire village washed away. Many of them were able to run and save their life, but many persons with disabilities were helpless and washed away in the flood, in the landslide scenario. Let me invite the social concern head of CSI Malabar Diocese, who were in the upfront working with the first as a first respondent for the landslide of Wayanad to share about the situations and how persons with disabilities face this challenging situation. Over to you, Nivin. Mr. Nivin Thomas. Nivinji, are you able to hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, please proceed. Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, all. Thank you, Reverend Rubin and others. Some of the faces are very familiar, and also thankful to NCCI to invite for this meeting. So actually, I am sitting here with a very painful hurt. Uh, in the introduction, Reverend Rubin told us, on 30th of last July, it was a special day of our life. Mundakai and Churalmala. That's a place, one of the tourist place in Wayanad. So the entire village was washed out in the flood. So around 30-35 days, I was staying there for relief work and others. I am representing CSI Diocese of Malabar during that time. Diocese coordinating the flood activities, and we opened one of our school for the persons come back to life. Maybe the camp extended 30-35 days. So I learned a big lesson from that situation. In government official status, more than 498 people were died, and maybe even some of the NGOs and some other people are telling some of the guest laborers are there. So they are living, they are coming from other states like Bengal, Odisha, that places. So they don't give any identity. Sometimes they are living in the estates, tea estates. Sometimes they are living in some remote areas. So all those people may be washed out. In our prediction, maybe 700, 800 people were died. So I learned a big lesson from it. After second day, we opened a center for coordinating all the activities. So frequently we are getting calls from different parts. So they are asking some of the people with the disabilities, some of the big stones uh, touch their body parts, and partially they were disabled. So that time we are not able to take these people and come out from the village and take into rescue homes or hospitalize or hospitals. So that was the biggest challenge. Even some people are asking wheelchairs. We are not able to provide wheelchairs because we are this is unexpected issue. So even anyway, we all the people, NGOs, churches, everybody contributing their maximum, and we help the people to provide maximum support. And second, one of the important lesson, if all people are working different situations, the biggest thing is if we can expect these kind of things anywhere, anytime, any place. So even our diocese is learn a big lesson, and bought an ambulance with the help of one of the CSR agencies. And also simultaneously we are looking to buy some wheelchairs and emergency things needed for the people with the disability, because others can run, others can asking help for some people, but the people with the disabilities, they are not able to survive the situation. So this is the biggest situation we are facing. So all the 30 days, I can see a lot of the people were in the camps. All the people are in the rescue homes. They are every time they are telling their heart beating stories, like uh, uh, I don't know. I can't express my feelings because all the things, even identifying the bodies till uh, cremation also, that time, till that time I am also part of the rescue work. So I learned a big lesson. We are preparing for this kind of uh, landslide or disasters. So during that time, at least we can, if we place some things for these special people, the people with the disabilities, so we can give some things that some kind of support for them. It will be very helpful for them. And also we are thankful to NCCI. Even Ashiraya and the team came there and gave good support for us. And also we gave some kind of guidelines. I attended one meeting was held on at Nagpur. During that time, we gave some kind of guidelines. That guidelines also I shared to my friends, my teams. That also very helpful for them. So thank you so much, all the team. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Let's also take a moment to remember all our dear ones whom we have missed through the various conflicts and disaster. Through the sharing of Mr. Nivin Thomas, we all agree that even though how much prepared we are, there are still many things lacking. Hope through the guidelines which we are going to share, at least we can cover many areas to save many persons with disabilities and people who are in a vulnerable situation. And also from the sharing of Mr. Nivin Thomas, we understand how the church is learning a new lesson that we should be more prepared in the scenario of understanding the life of persons with disabilities. And the final point from the sharing, a disaster, a conflict can make many people to person with disabilities, create disabilities in their life. After the heartwarming stories from two disaster area, let's move to the biggest conflict which India have seen was 60,000 people were displaced, thousands were injured, 300 people were killed. I don't think we have to share more about this, the Manipur conflict. At the time of Manipur conflict, Mr. Haupik, who's a visually impaired person who was moved to a relief camp, and the challenges as a visually impaired person he faced in the relief camp and at the time of conflict, if we listen to that, we'll really understand the depth of the scenario and the situation. Let me welcome Mr. Hopik, who established the blind organization for the people who are affected in the conflict and who's taking care of more than 60 visually impaired people in the Manipur. Mr. Hopik, over to you.
Okay, sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are
Hello.
audible. Yes, you are audible. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you for giving me the time. My name is Necha Haukip from Manipur. Manipur, I mean in Chuchanpur district, which is in Manipur. I am visually impaired person since 2007 or 6 or 7, I guess. I'm very grateful to have a platform like this. NCCI give me the platform. So I don't know how to explain my journey from last 2023 May 3rd, since 2023 May 3rd, when the ethnic class was the conflict between the Meiteis and Kuki.
Hello, we are not able to hear you.
That I am new to. uh, Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, no, no, you're audible. Yes, thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So, how to say? We have a lots of problem passing till now from since 2023 May 3rd. I guess all the nation have heard about the conflict between the two ethnic, between the Kukis and Meiteis. I hope or have already heard about the conflict between us. So how to say, sir? Today, Sir Nelson has given me this platform. So first of all, I am very grateful to him. Until now, sir, we have a society called Hope for the Blind in the Chuchanpur district, which is hill district of Manipur. And now, actually, now we have a member of about 50, around 50 to 60 members, and we are all facing the problem. But unable to share or unable, we don't know whom to approach or whom which ministry to approach. But we are uh, we are about to meet at August date 16. We are about to organize a meet, the first meet of blind society visually impaired person. So how to say, sir? Actually, sir, Dolin Lelem is also attending this Zoom meet, right, sir?
Yes, he's
So,
there.
okay, sir. Let them also know everything about blind about the problem of visually impaired person which are staying at Chuchanpur district. Right now, we are facing. I don't know. We are not unable to go to the capital city, which is called Infal, which we are staying before. But I don't know. We are really they are the general person, which means natives are very advanced than us. They have many facilities like I don't know how to say from governments or from NGOs. But as we are the tribal means all the tribe, we are having a lots and lots of problem. But we don't know whom to approach and whom to say. So we have formed an society called Hope for the Blind. I'm now talking as a president of the Hope for the Blind Society, sir. So Dolen Lal is also our member. He is an advisor to Hope for the Blind Society. We are really grateful to him to give us such an opportunity to share our problem. So really, when we were at the relief, no, we are not at the relief camp. When on the May 3rd, when the ethnic class begin, we are we ran to the CRPF camp, and we stayed there for 8 days, and we have suffered a lot, and we sleep with our wife and daughters, and we are sleeping at the ground where the CRPF used to play volleyball or football. We really we are really very how to say we really suffer, but what to do if we go outside the camp? We will be killed. So we have a problem, lots of problem. We stayed there for 8 days. I guess there's from May 3rd to May 12, 13, 13, 13. Yes, I guess the 8, 12 or 13. And we are carried away by the army convoy, and we go to our place. How to say it in Chuchanpur or at Tengnopal, Chandel or Kangpokpi, which is a hill district, all the hill district. So right now at Chuchanpur, there's lots of IDP staying here, and we are unable to stay at the relief camp because the relief camp are so there's I don't know how to say the relief camp is not that much comfortable to us. So we are staying at the rent house. So we have a problem of daily needs of what to say daily needs of foods item, grocery item. I don't know what to say. Uh, we are facing a problem, and today also I share with my friend. What should I say to the NCCI is conducting a Zoom meet, so all the people we would be unable to share, we would unable to attend the meeting. So in favor of our Hope for the Blind Society, so I have to speak. So they are very, sir, you are very anxious. You are very we are very how to say, you are very excited that our voice is going to NCCI or maybe uh, whoever, sir. so so the time is up over, sir. Can I speak more, sir?
Like if you have something to say, please take your time.
Sir, if I I don't know how to say, sir. I'm getting little nervous. Before this, I have never gone through this Zoom meet like sharing my views or sharing my difficulties or sharing my all my difficulties during this ethnic class during this conflict. This is my first time, so I'm little getting nervous. So I don't know. I'm little. I don't know how to share my view. I was planning to share lots of uh, mm, problem which we face during this conflict. We are right now we are facing. That's what I say, sir. We are lots of visually impaired person who doesn't have a home, who are also staying at a relief camp, who are also staying at a rent house. So they have to pay for the monthly rent house. So the relief camp means we can't stay there with their families. I guess there's many means there's 10 or 20 visually impaired person. 10 to 20% visually impaired person are staying at the relief camp, and some of them are staying at the rent house. So right now, I don't know how to say about the government side. The social welfare offices was not working very well because all the mechanic, what to say, is controlled by the capital city Infal. So we are unable to go to Infal and claim our rights about the right of people with disability rights. We are unable to claim that rights also. But I think, sir, we have a lots of problem, and today, sir, I'm sharing I am not sharing my personal difficulties, but I'm talking um, about visually impaired person who are staying in Chuchanpur. Not only in Chuchanpur, sir, we are hill district. Hill district means there's a lots of hill district. As you all know that Manipur, Infal is surrounded by the hill district. Technopole district, Chandel district, Chuchanpur, Faizol, Kangpokpi, and we are unable to go to the capital city. That's what we are now facing our problem. If we go to the office, and the social welfare ministry, then they will say all are controlled by the center. That means Infal, and we are unable to do anything. So right now we are facing that problem. If we are about to claim our rights, then they will say we have to recommend it to the center, which mean in Infal. So that's what I'm not, and maybe I may be little stuck when I talk. I beg a pardon from you all. So, sir, that's all what I say, sir. Someday I will share my difficulties. I will share what I faced when we were in relief camp, not in relief camp, where we are in CRPF camp. We are every night, every morning, when we are about to sleep or when we are about to wake up, we are really afraid. Or enemy will attack us, or they will attack us and they will kill us. We are staying at situation, sir. But now the situation is still going on. So, sir, that's all, sir. I want to share my view, sir. Over
Thank you
to you,
so
sir.
thank you so much, Haukip, for
Okay,
being
sir.
the voice for hundreds of persons with disabilities from Manipur. Uh, we can understand at the time of conflict or disaster, the people who lost their houses, they go to
Mm,
the relief camps.
yes, sir.
Relief camps can't be their houses. Even
Mm,
for a person who's not who's a able person who's not having disabilities, have various challenges and problems there. But
mm,
if you see in
yes.
other part, most of the relief camps are opened by churches or church-based institution. And the question is, why these
Okay.
places are not accessible? To address this question, let's move to the last part of the webinar, introducing the guidelines. So these guidelines will help the churches and institutions to be ready in the disaster preparedness, having concerns for the vulnerable community. We are sharing a PowerPoint on the screen. So for the people who are not able to see, we will read out the points which being displayed on the screen. These guidelines have mainly four chapters. The first chapter will help us to understand various type of disabilities and the vulnerabilities faced by the persons with disabilities at the time of disaster and conflict. At the second chapter, we will understand the spaces or the implementers. That means those who are in the first response, in the role at the rescue stage. And the third part will understand disability specific disaster responsive framework, which will help us to be more sharp in the disaster response. And at the fourth part, we'll understand implementation mechanism. Let's move forward. Why guidelines of disability inclusive disaster response? So in the world, 16 percentage of people are with disabilities. That means almost 1.3 billion of people are persons with disabilities. So when a flood or any kind of conflict or disaster affect, they are more helpless and more vulnerable. And we all know our church places become the first response places. So as church places being into the response places, if we are more sensitive and intentionally inclusive, definitely we can save the life of the vulnerable community. The document provide a faith-rooted and right-based approach. So we'll move to the first chapter of the guidelines, type of disabilities and vulnerability. We know disaster or conflicts. It's a really sad situation. People feel helpless. Just imagine this point. Just because I can't see, just because I can't walk, just because I can't listen, just because of my disability, I'm not able to help my life, or because of me, my family is also going to get stuck or get affected in the conflict. That make the pain more harder. In RPWD Act 2016, they have mentioned 21 categories of disabilities. Each person with disabilities have different requirement, and in each kind of disaster and conflicts, these requirements will vary. So let's categorically see the challenges of persons with disabilities at the time of disaster. The locomotor disability, the people who have challenges in moving. So many locomotor disability persons, even when we listen to the story of shared by Nivin, a person who is in wheelchair or a person who is bedridden, they can't move around or they can't walk around. Even though if disaster team is there, they need more human power to help that person to come out. And unless the help is reaching there, the family can also leave them and move out of the place. The challenge is access limitation. Even though if we take to the rescue center, there won't be ramps, there won't be accessible rails where these people can be accommodated. And the visual impairment people's challenge, we already heard from Chaudhurya and Hawking. And the next category is speech and hearing impaired. Many times, when the disaster happened, there will be announcements, there will be alarms. Alarms and announcements will be only heard by the people who can hear. But if the person is with hearing impairment, a person who can't hear, they won't be able to listen to the things happening around. Even though, leave the part about the alarms, think about if people are giving the instruction, move this side, go this way, they won't be able to hear or understand what's happening. For that, there is only one solution. There should be people who are trained with sign language interpretation. So, and the next category is the people from autism spectrum and intellectual disability. We know the people who are in this category, everyday life itself is very much miserable for them. It's very hard for them to uh, cooperate and accommodate with a new scenario. So just imagine when they are suddenly moved to a rescue camp where hundreds of people are being together. Definitely they will go through anxieties, trauma, and they won't be able to cope up there. And another category are invisible disabilities. the people who will be having sickle cells and taking medicines, a different neurodiverse condition. People won't understand their persons with disabilities. They may be taken for granted, but the challenges faced by them are also very hard. And there is also one more category, intersection, the people with HIV, the trans community with disabilities, they're also in the vulnerable stages. Let's move to the uh, second chapter of the guidelines, that is spaces and implementers. As we already know, we have categorized four spaces who are upfront or the first respondent at the time of the disaster. The first space is church. We know that uh, when a disability or disaster happens, church is ready to bring the youth or human resource together to help the people. A very good thing. Church is ready to give the grocery, give the money support. So church is always at front. But the areas lacking in the first respondents is we are not equipped how to handle a person with disability or how to communicate with a person with disability. This guideline is going to help on that. And the second spaces and implementers we are mentioning here is educational and health institutions. Many schools, hospitals are being the shelters or relief camp at the time of the disaster. So, if we can construct our schools, hospitals with accessible toilets, with a place with ramp, or a place where people can be accommodated properly, definitely at the time of the disaster, the education centers and health institutions can be do a better role to give more comfortable and accessible space for persons with disabilities, and also giving regular trainings to the staff to work with and to support the persons with disability at the emergency will definitely help to make the space more better. And the third area is diaconal and social action wings of churches. The question which we want to ask to the diaconal wing, do you have enough database to understand how many persons with disabilities are in your church? If you have database that, like in Vijayawada flood, definitely you will be able to reach out them directly and give them the first preference and save many lives of persons with disabilities. And the fourth category, theological education institutions, the institutions which create the future leaders for the church. At the time of theological education itself, if the students are trained to accompany a person with disability and to train to be at the situations of disaster, more than that, if they are trained well with uh, trauma counseling, definitely it's going to create a better impact to the society. So the trauma faced by anybody at the time of disaster will be horrible, but the trauma faced by a person with disability or vulnerable community at the time of disaster is unimaginable. So these are the two chapters of the guidelines. Now let's move forward to the second and fourth chapter. To lead that, let me invite the Program Executive of Indian Disability Ecumenical Accompaniment, Nelson Nak. Over to you, Nelson.
Very good evening to everyone. So we are moving to the next piece of puzzle and most important part, the framework. And framework is the backbone of the document. As we know, it's a self-understanding. It's a disability-specific disaster responsive framework, which has been divided into 4 to 5 sections. As you know, there is first is preparedness, and the subsets of preparedness is database, and then comes communication and warning system. Then comes your awareness and capacity building. Then comes your necessary logistic material and preparation kits, infrastructure, and equipping facilities and accessible infrastructure. So when we look into the subsets of the preparedness, first we will check what is database. Most important thing, as pointed out rightly, at the time of ASNA, cyclone, Vijayawada disaster. Miss Madhuria has said this, they had some database about the location which pinpointed where are the presence of persons with disability and their families were, which helped them to locate the locality and immediately come into action. Then came the communication warning system. They used the power of WhatsApp and Instagram and other social mediums to communicate with each other. And we know nowadays we are blessed with the blessing of technology using Google Aid and accessibility options. And using the accessibility options, a person can use that kit to reach out to person at the time of need. So communication and warning systems nowadays is really helpful. And there should be in the relief camps important signboards and guides and navigation maps like audio visual signs and braille formats is needed. Now the subset we are watching like awareness and capacity building, that church has to be trained, and it has in its congregation diverse professionals present. So there can be medical doctors, engineers, and other paramedics. So we have to train all of them, and from senior citizens to children to elderly, and all groups are there in the church. So all can be trained and prepared for the time of disaster. So they are well equipped. Then time to time, they also should self-train through awareness programs in their locality and neighborhoods about the disaster preparedness. Now comes medical and psychological training like human resource. There must be in church. We know there are psychological logists and other professionals. So we can also have a pool of medical doctors and psychologists who are always ready at the time of disaster to provide them care. When it comes to logistical material and preparation kits, they should always keep all the stocks and inventory ready so that they can at the time of disaster they can immediately respond. The logistics, they should always keep in mind some car, some bus, some lorry, some van ready, so that at the time of need immediately those logistical people are ready to supply and provide immediately. Then there should be a networking with the local medical institutions and other facilities, so they know the trauma care, the medical facilities immediately to respond for persons with disability. When the auditorium and marriage hall and schools, those facilities are ready to be transported for persons with disability. Now, when it comes to basic infrastructure, we should always keep in mind that there are persons who are visually impaired, who are hard in hearing, and they need audio, visual, sign languages, and other apps to communicate. There are intellectual disability, and there are neurodiverse persons with neurodiversity. So they need special caregivers and support. So we have to cater into those needs which are not present at for the regular rehabilitation camps. So we have to make some tentative arrangement. Now, when we go to risk reduction, we know that reduction, mitigation, and resilience is very important part. So when it comes to risk reduction, we have to immediately realize that we have to make ourselves trained with the data that every time there will be flood. So if we are aware that what are the things should be ready with the data, with the survey, with our self trained with capacity building and awareness. If we are already mobilized our all the volunteers in the church and our Christian institutions, and if we keep all our inventories and emergency toolkits and all the logistic material ready, so we are go ready for the action, and immediately we can support rebuilding the lives in resilience and mitigation part. Now when we will go to now rapid response. So when it comes to rapid response, it is like working in tandem with the government officials. No, not alone church can do everything, but church has to collaborate with other institutions, with the regular state disaster relief force SDRF and NDRF. They have to work in tandem with them. So like all the data are they have about the PWD families, the locality, they can share with the local authorities so they can reach out to them as soon as possible and they can deploy. And wherever the church volunteers are there, they can be deployed there accordingly by providing the medical services and other important voluntary services to them, and even the logistical services to them. Now, also need to network, and those networks with the other civil societies and welfare organizations, with schools and colleges and medical institutions, dispensaries and other uh, wholesalers. They're always ready to provide us all with all the facilities, grocery items, dry rations and other clothing and hygiene kits. They're ready to provide, so we should have good network with those wholesalers, with medical or with grocery. It will always help us at the time of disaster. Now comes rehabilitation and follow-up. That is the post-disaster work. It's a long-term work, and it is divided into five components. And we see physical rehabilitation. This is a restoration work. In the government cannot reach each and every locality, so the church institutions can always write down to the local municipal authorities or district collector or sub collector or tehsildar for restoring all the important infrastructure like power lines, sewer lines, running water, or the medical rescue and relief, everything they can write to the authorities. And then comes social rehabilitation, is again when the lives and properties is lost, then immediately comes PTSD, the post-traumatic stress disorder, and for that we need a long-term caregiver solutions. The families need long-term care and solutions. So obviously, so as we know that when it comes to the social rehabilitation work, so the family and institutions of the family needs immediate care and support from the church and the church institution. We need for psychological rehabilitation, we need psychologists, psychiatrists and other trauma experts who will help them to come out of this trauma in long term. And most important thing is economic rehabilitation, long term economic support, like livelihood support, livelihood training, skill support is needed, and so that they can be self-sustaining and sustainable. Now we will go to uh, what is called mechanisms, implementation mechanisms. So, when it comes to the implementation mechanisms, we see there are workshops, case study groups, training of trainers, ecumenical learning training programs, disaster disability corpus fund, encouraging the translation of regional languages and disability formats, where we see the workshop is needed time to time to conduct the people to with disabilities and other experts to participate. And we also need a case study group where we always know like the test cases or live examples, like what happened in Wayanad, what happened in Vijayawada flood, and other flood happened across the country. Even now, you know, in Uttarkasi there was a landslide due to cloudburst. So these cases can always be used as a case study to discuss, and how can persons with disability and other experts come together and work out the possible solutions, and they can always be ready at the time of need to respond. then there should be an action team. An action team is like coordinating. So it's like an ecumenical level when all the churches coming together, and they will have persons with disability as well as other people, experts there, so they can coordinate with each other, as because it's not the work of one church or one institution, it's coming together. It's like a teamwork together in the locality, in the region, to respond immediately. So there should be a teamwork. So that's why there is an action team in every church to coordinate with each other. Then identifying a group of volunteers, like in church agencies and institutions for disability response disaster management. Like as I said, there are volunteer groups in every church. So these volunteer groups can always work together. And in those voluntary groups in youth, they can have doctors, engineers, and psychiatrists, and psychologists, and physiotherapists. So there are set of panel of experts always present there. So these are forming as a group of volunteer, as a task force. And we need to have time to time periodical training, because we need to keep on updating itself, because climate change is always evolving. It's not the same every time. Everything changes very rapidly. So we also should be always in our toes, always ready to respond at the go. So we keep on updating ourselves in the terms of technology, what changes is happening in the area world of persons with disability, new technologies, assistive devices are coming up, and what government initiatives they are taking, and other institutions, what new things they have, new models they've invented, so that the church and the church volunteers and all the ecumenical organizations keep themselves up to date, so that it will help them in once in 3 months they keep on training themselves, so they are always perfect and ready to respond. Then reaching out to the ecumenical agencies for the training. There should be always a disability sensitization workshops. So we as a NCCI idea, we have a lot of regional church councils, and we are planning to work together, sensitizing about the disability, and starting from the disaster conflict disability guideline church community in India document. We are sensitizing in all of the regional council. So we have started this initiative. So through this ecumenical gathering of all the churches together, we sensitize and we all collaborate and work together in tandem for uplifting persons with disability during the time of disaster. Then finally, we will go to have some corpus fund. So if we are able to have a contingency fund or a common fund, so in church, to respond at the time of disaster and relief work. So it will help for church to keep that fund together separately, so they will not have the burden. So that budget will help the church in ecumenically formed. They can collect together, have a common fund, which will help the agency to tap onto it and respond during the time of disaster. Then we have to take a disability inclusive structure in churches, in identifying, engaging, and employing persons with disability in all the church related agencies and church. And we also would like to encourage church institutions and agencies to translate these guidelines in the regional languages, possibly braille, audio, or visual format, so that it will helpful in transmitting this document in the regional languages and local churches and all our regional languages. And at the end, I also would like to let you know that we will dismantle all policies and systems to take attitude which are discriminatory and excluding the persons with disability, so that we can introduce very inclusive theology and inclusive ordination and inclusive employment at all the levels of churches and institutions. Once again, thank you very much to all of you for listening to us very patiently, and throughout the 1 hour of the course of introducing of the document, you have been present there, and we would love to work with you in future towards making persons with disability inclusive when at the time of emergency, conflict, or disaster, to respond inclusively. Thank you very much once again for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Nelson. So let me leave a question. As church, anybody can respond to this. As church, when should we equip our church in disaster preparedness. When should we start equipping our church for disaster preparedness? Anyone can answer the question.
Yes, sir. Jivan Babu, can I
Yeah.
answer this one? Just
Yes,
my
please.
opinion.
Yes, please.
Um, I did some paper audit and I received this ad. So my opinion is when we building the church, before we are planning to build the church, we must have the backup plan for disaster moment at the same time. And every year we have to keep some budget because now the climate change and a lot of things are happening. So we have to keep a special budget for disaster management as well as PWD from the church side. It is biblical also because in the Old Testament also a certain tithe has to keep for strangers and PW people completely for them. That is the offering. Second one is disaster management is that also taken. That's why this mentioned three tithes in the Bible, Old Testament. At the same time, New Testament also, and Barnabas and Paul. And so they already have the pre-plan of disaster management from the Macedonian, 2 Corinthians chapter 8. So according to my understanding is this disaster management and we have the plan to build the church. That is a pre-plan to build the church. So disaster management and a special to these kind of people like us people. That's one thing. Now existing churches, at least now they must have the awareness and the contribution towards these people. Now people's income is increasing more. So the things are so they must have more awareness towards the echoes and as well as disaster management. That's my opinion. I just want to share with you. Thank you, sir.
Uh, Thank you so much, Jeevan Babu Anna, for bringing the biblical insight. So the answer for the question is we have to be ready by now because we can't expect when the disaster is going to happen, when the conflict is going to happen. So the guidelines we have already shared in the chat. You can also access the guidelines through National Council of Churches in India website, that is ncca1914.com. And also feel free to bring the feedback about the guidelines to idea@ncca1914.com. So if you have something to add on, let's listen to that. And after that, let's wind up the meeting. The floor is open. We have a question from Amy. What about individuals with developmental disabilities? How they can be supported during time of emergencies? This is also being mentioned in the guidelines. So, if churches can have special spaces like Sunday school rooms, youth rooms, which can be exclusively given for the people with developmental disabilities, with autism, without crowding many people together to a place, it will be very helpful for those the people with developmental disabilities as well as individual disability intellectual disabilities. Is there any questions or add-ons?
Reverend
Yes, please.
Rabin John, good evening.
Good evening.
Actually, we have heard from many God servants and their report and their work. It was very good. And actually, where there is no disaster and no conflict, but disabilities people are there. So in the remote area and where there is conflicts are there, but there is no disaster. Then there, actually, how do we can as a church we can help them and what kind of tools from how can we reach them and how can we help them? That's what I need little ideas. Those are in need actually, especially those are in need. They are not able to get any help outside.
Uh, we are not able to listen to you. Are you still talking?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, thank you. We'll take one more point. I guess Mr. Joseph Yuvraj also raised his hands.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Joseph Uraja. I would like to just give my suggestion that uh, in terms of disaster management and the experiences we shared just now, there needs to be a comprehensive contingency plan in place and keeping people aware by conducting mock drills and mock audits so that their mindset is tuned to this kind of situation. Many a times people are blank and suddenly it outbursts and things they go haywire. So I feel there needs to be a comprehensive contingency plan that could bring about, a kind of awareness and kind of understanding and how to deal with it in terms of, when there is a lot of chaos and uncertainties. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for adding the point. That point is mentioned in the guidelines. So in the 15 minutes, we were trying to give you the overview. So as churches, kindly download the guidelines and go through that. Thank you for adding the point. And for Mr. Anand, we should have a list data of persons with disabilities living around. The important thing is making the churches spaces accessible for them. How Kip, do you want to add something?
Okay, sir. Sir, if we want to contact the NCCI, National Council of Church for India, then how should we contact this NCCI, sir, actually?
Uh, we will contact you kindly. We will contact you for to call regarding disability concerns. We will be posting the email ID there. The email ID is idea at ncci1914.com.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, sir.
Any comments? I think it's almost 1.5 hours. Thank you all for your patient listening. Kindly download the guidelines and take these guidelines to your churches. Let's prepare our churches uh, to make sure no person with disability is left alone at the time of disaster or conflict. Thank you so much. Let me request Jeevan Babu Anna to offer the closing prayer.
Yes. Our heavenly gracious Father, thank you for this wonderful time and moment that we have coming together and discuss about the disaster management and so many other things that I have got a lot of insights, and you must be not only pre-planned to face all these things, Father, from the biblical viewpoints and a lot of suggestions from your anointed one. And Lord, help us to be prepared for this. And thank you for the wonderful testimonies. There are some organizations, really, they helped people who are in disaster. Thank you, Jesus, for them and bless them abundantly and raise so many other organizations also to help people to consider such kind of situations and to lift up and to face it, Father. Thank you and help us to take care of our Mother Earth in such a way where we can, in the future, we can try our best to avoid disasters and unpredictable disasters. Thank you, Jesus, once again. I come into your presence of God and bless each one of us. And if it's possible, please we try to have further religious gatherings and fellowships in the presence of God. Thank you and praise you. In Jesus' magnificent name, I pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen. If all of you can turn off the camera for a while, we can have a selfie which will be posted on NCCI website. So kindly turn on your camera. So we'll take a group picture and also make sure you're smiling. We can also see our friends from Prodigal Home, Sis Ella and team. Those who they were also part of our guideline preparation. Thank you so much for joining. Uh, Thank you all. We are taking a selfie. Please smile. Cheese. One more time. Just a second. One more. Some people are missing. The last click.
You.
And Thank you. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Good
Thank you.
night.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.
Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a
Very
wonderful
God
nice.
program.
bless.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice.